back with What's Hot, hosted by Cami Cam here at the Beluga Bar with producer 8Track. So we talked about your experience here in Bermuda and you feeling that there's pretty much no industry here in Bermuda. Please tell us a bit more about Atlanta and how it was transitioning from somewhere with no industry to somewhere with a full music industry.
It was a big transition because, like I said previously, that everything in Bermuda didn't prepare me for it. And I went out there completely green. And, it was basically just me just taking my talents, believing in myself, and just going out to see what I first did. I started to network. Whatever was going on that I felt would be beneficial for me, I made myself present there. Whether it was a hip hop show or a certain artist's manager, or even like a producer that I might be able to be in the studio with. There's been plenty of times where I have taken trips and been that fly on the wall. And just so I could have that experience of just being around in the studio and seeing what it's like to just be around professionals and things like that. So, but then when I really made that leap, which was last year, it wasn't the easiest thing for me because I didn't have that much money, and I didn't really have that stability of where I was gonna stay and things like that. And and I actually went the first time thinking I was gonna get signed one time, but when I first went there, they was like, oh, well, we went over our budget. So we want to sign you, but we don't know when it's gonna happen. And then I was in Atlanta for months, like just not even knowing what's gonna happen. And then, the opportunity came a couple months later. Once I got signed, I just started to, I was in a better position for receiving opportunity.
Nice.
And I just had like a lot of sessions. My time got really busy. They had me making like 2 beats a day, and to where I had to submit like 14 beats a week.
Yes.
And it was a lot of late night sessions. Being around artists who have high demands. And then also me being signed to a management, they had to, I have to make sure I represent myself in a certain manner that doesn't make them look bad. It was a lot.
And approximately how long did it take for you to get in the eye of these people? How long did it take for them to recognize you in Atlanta?
I would say it took over a year. I'd say it took over a year because even with me being signed, I still had to go out there and work hard.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, nobody knows me. I could be signed to whoever, but if they don't know me, then it's nothing.
Exactly.
Right. So I took my own initiative a lot of times to go to events more and use my management's name to get me in certain places, and backstages, in studios. A lot of things.
And if you don't mind me asking, who are you signed to?
Oh, I'm signed to Street Exacts Management. They manage 2 Chainz.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this group Travis Porter and a couple more artists.
And who have you worked with in the industry so far?
Well, a lot of artists, but I'll say my biggest artist that I worked with was 50 Cent. And like I said, it's so many more other artists. But what it is that you have to wait for like things to come out.
Yes.
I could say, oh, I was in the studio with Young Jeezy, but then what I done with him, it might not come out till like a year later. So, but I'll just say that there's a lot of artists I'm working with, and the biggest artist I work with so far is 50 Cent.
Very nice. So do you have anything current that everyone out there can look forward to hearing?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Actually, I'm actually working on a project right now with my own artist, my brother, Combat, aka Mr. Clark. were actually bringing out this Hope for the Hood project, and that's actually like my biggest project I'm looking forward to. You know, like the industry, like the other things in the industry I'm doing is evolving. Like I say, like industry wise, well, still in the industry.
Yes.
But my biggest project, aside from working with my own artists, is working with Kalina from Did Us Dirty Money. She's also on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And we're working with Sean Garrett, who's behind a lot of Beyonce songs, Miley Cyrus, like the list goes on and on. And the overseer of this project is Clive Davis, the legendary Clive Davis.
And working with these people, how do you keep your patience? How do you kind of hone your craft and kind of keep what you want to be a part of the instrumental, but still give them what they want as an artist?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, I stay true to myself. And a lot of times, you know, artists come to me knowing my style. And, you know, we sit down first. It's not just me just playing beats. We sit down, we talk. You know, what is your vision? And then I basically talk about how I can accommodate that. And then, you know, once a conversation is out the way, we have the understanding, then we just start to work.
Yes, and you as a producer, do you have any specific genres?
Good music, that's my genre.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to hear more about Combat, which is another local artist here in Bermuda, but he's actually an entertainer.
Yes, he is. And that's actually who I started all this with. Like, I was 13, he was 12. It was just me and him. It's been a lot of times to where, you know, all we hear was each other.
Yes.
And that started from young.
And
you know?
Him currently being in Bermuda and you currently being in Atlanta, do you guys stay in contact? How do you feel about being so far away from each other, or being able to, like, with you getting kind of sidetracked with what you're doing in America? Do you guys, how do you handle that? Well,
he comes to see me a lot in Atlanta, you know, and then, like, realistically speaking, I'm still on the come up.
Yeah.
So I'm still not in a position to where I could be like, come on deck fully, you know. So he takes a lot of trips to me, and we work together in the studios. I introduce him to some people that I know that could also like contribute to what we're doing. And
teamwork.
Right, exactly, teamwork. So, you know, and me and Combat, you know, we have a movement anyway, and the movement is it's called Force One, where, you know, basically we're uniting.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, a lot of things that we're doing, like with me being in this position that I am in now, is contributing towards our movement now.
And up next, we have someone very close to 8Track. They actually grew up together, and it's safe to say that he's one of 8Track's artists. He goes by the name of Combat, and he's a local artist here in Bermuda.
I don't know if you guys have heard anything, but like, yo, like, we really had the best music environment. No disrespect to nobody.